I'm live. Hi, Korea. I've never used like the YouTube Studio live thing, so I don't know what's going on here, what we can see and what we can't see. I'm used to StreamYard. I'm used to other people setting things up for me, to be honest. We'll see. I only have like 40 views on my story, so I don't really do very well about planning in advance, getting the word out. Ooh. But I was actually kind of hoping that people would just be watching from shorts and see that I was live and come in and troll that way, because that way people would get to know my debate rhetoric style, I guess, which they can't tell from my shorts. Why is this package? And I'm trying a new like BB cream, so that's pretty cool. Because otherwise I'm washed out. Wait, why do I have all these dots at the bottom? It's scary. Oh, is that the audio? Am I too quiet? Can you hear me, Graham? I don't know why my mic would be all the way up, but my audio is saying it's on one bar. Okay, let's mute. Let me see something real quick. Visibility. I hope it's using the right mic. Like, it might just be using the wrong mic. Redirect. Trailer. Oh, yeah. I'll add you as moderator now. Well, it won't let me see what mic I'm on, so let's just hope that I'm on the right mic. Okay, we're going to add moderator. The one and one of us. I feel like I should at least have something. You can hear me, I'm sure, but I don't know if it's coming through my iMac or through my Quad-X mic. I was gonna say, I'm gonna have this live up and like on my profile, and it'll be funny if it's just me talking to you the whole time. But I wouldn't mind, honestly, because we're gonna do a BB cover-up light makeup tutorial as well while we're sitting here. I've never used this color, this brand, or CC cream versus BB cream. So what's the difference? Couldn't tell you. I see two people though. Hello. You're so lost when it comes to makeup. Essentially, I just slather things on and then keep on reworking it until it looks good, which I think is how you're supposed to do it. It's a little harder when you're doing it not in front of a mirror. And obviously I'm not doing full makeup tonight because it's 7 o'clock. I just wanted something to balance out my weird skin on this weird iMac. Ooh. So I feel like I should have. What did I do today? So I posted the King James video. It's not out yet. It'll be dropping at like 7:45. And I thought maybe that'd be fun to do it after the live. That way I could talk about it during the live to get people over there. But now I'm realizing that maybe that was dumb. Maybe I should have dropped that first, and we'd have something to talk about right now. But I'm trying to follow Forrest Valakai's advice. He said all of my YouTube views at the beginning are going to come from doing TikTok compilation videos where I take my series and put them together. I've done one so far and it did not get a whole bunch of views. So I don't know if he's lying to me. But also his science videos are a totally different area. I should have had this wet before we came in here. Greetings, JeGaysus and all. Hello, the Trusty Ape Podcast. What an interesting name for a podcast. What makes the ape so trustworthy? Or are you the apes? Does it talk about apes? Now I'm gonna have to check it out. Just to figure out the context of the name. Which improve. Okay. We have BB cream on, so I don't look as crazy now. I just look washed out. Yeah. I should have brought blush in with me or something and bring my face back to life. None of this is on my playlist. So I don't understand why it's... Oh, it's the enhanced thing where they just assume you'll like things. That's not... I don't like that. Spotify. I put them on a playlist for a reason. How do you like your new mattress? It's cool. It's smaller. That's the whole goal, is that I'll have this corner right here to shoot with. But I don't know how I'm gonna make it look presentable for YouTube yet. I'm not very good at interior styling stuff. The mattress itself is good. I like being able to sit up. I feel like I'm in the hospital whenever I want. So I really like the adjustability. And yeah. I have my weighted blanket on there, as you can see. Anxiety. And you can see a unicorn back there. It's like a headrest that vibrates your neck. And another headrest that vibrates. I have a whole wealth of vibrating things that only apply to your body. Well, I was trying to make it sound better, but you know what I mean. That only apply to the pains in your body, be that stomach cramps or back pains. Anyway, if anyone wants to come hang out on my adjustable bed, I got the vibrating things. No, this is in the other sense. We are all trusty apes. Unfortunately, the vid I did explaining the podcast name, which is also my band's name, the Trusty Apes, got canned by YouTube with my original channel. Oh, you have to make a new one. So they didn't like be right over. You're not too far. You could do it. I thought you were saying YouTube canceled it because it was like too, what's the word? Nefarious, too slutty. But at the same time, I'm like, I couldn't figure that out. But if you lost access to your original YouTube account, that would make sense. Hi, King of Kings. Hello, Samantha. I used to, well, especially on TikTok, have the whole hashtag of King of Queens, like drag queens, thinking I was so smart, but it just took up too much space. I don't think people really got it. So King of Kings works. That's a thing? Oh my god, sorry, that was me. Wait, you're the one who bombed Trusty Apes podcast? What's going on here? But I didn't know this is the thing. Okay, wait, so they have corn bombers, like people who'll just come in, hack your account, and put corn. No, hi, King of Kings. Oh, yeah, I never recognize the Sam part. Wait, so now I'm scared. What did I use like the same password on most of my accounts? Not, I mean, I'm not monetized or anything, so I guess I shouldn't be that terrified, but came into your open room and it was pretty wild. Ooh. I feel like you're setting me up for like, it was me the whole time. I'm the one who hacks pages. Getting hacked by NFT spam bots. See, this is all crazy. How do they go from a chat to hacking your actual channel? Like, how does that backdoor work? And isn't YouTube smart enough to figure something out? Hmm. It's been in my head all day, Korea. Problem, it's me. I've only had one person ever message me on my email, which is surprising because I put it everywhere, and I'm like, I thought somebody would do it by now. In terms of haters, I've had a couple like nice long stories about coming out experiences or different things, but yeah, I know they hold you accountable, but like I just feel like they should have more stringent firewalls up if they're seeing people jump from the chats into real life or like into your account as a virus. Well, now you know I've known your real name. This is not news to me. I just prefer calling you by your screen name because I don't know. It'd be weird if I called you by your weird name, you know. Did you hear my covert narcissism? My disguise as altruism, like I'm some sort of congressman. Is that a line in the song? The hi, it's me. I have not broken down the lyrics like you have. I said this on Instagram publicly yesterday. I'm not a Swiftie. If that affects how anyone feels about me, I like her as a person. I like her as a single artist, like her singles, but I'm not breaking down all of her lyrics and streaming her 100 times a day. I can't do it. I love everyone out there who can, but yes, it is. Okay. I instantly lost 2 people in the live stream from that admission right there. Out of 6. We went from 6 to 4, so people take her pretty seriously. Which ironically, you weren't a Swiftie until midnight. I just like the conspiracy side. I wish there was more artists with like more conspiracies because I really like watching the ride of people every single release and every video getting picked apart and like every when's the next album gonna be. You don't see that with any other group, and I don't know if it's because she actually actively works on doing said Easter eggs or if Swifties are just crazy. But I like it. Hiccups. You're doing spooky nails? I need to do something. I was gonna be doing my hair tonight too. I was gonna like because I haven't shot any Halloween content and I need to do my hair. I mean it's not bad, but I want it to be a little cleaner. So I'll probably just have to get up early, whatever that is, and like do my hair, try to break it up, do my makeup, and then film Halloween content so I can post it on Halloween because that marks my 3-year anniversary on TikTok. This originally was my Halloween costume and it grew into its own thing. So how about that? Your favorite artist is Bjork? Are you serious? Like, is that for real? I've only listened to 3 songs of hers and it hurts my head. So I'm sorry. She intentionally puts Easter eggs in music videos and TikToks and stuff. She likes to reward her fans who put in the extra effort. I feel like she didn't start that way though. I feel like she got there because people started getting crazy and she's like, oh, I'm gonna start scripting in some Easter eggs. That's the weirdest mix. Went straight from Maniskin to You Don't Own Me. Can you even hear the music? I don't know. I have a cardioid coming this way, so I don't know what you guys can hear. I think I know 2 or 3 of her songs also. From Bjork? Yeah, it's hard to actually get into. Hi, Misser. You've seen Bjork live. See, I imagine Bjork and oh god, what's her name? Grimes as like the same person. I feel like Elon invented a way to roll back time and Bjork just rolled into Grimes in the 20s. You made it. I'm so glad. I commented and gave you like a minute. I was like, hey, I'm live now if you want to hang out. Have you seen it? It's Bjork musical about the death penalty. I have not seen it. That's 5 minutes. I, 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 I don't know. You don't see it. You don't see the Grimes like influence. I'm sure Grimes is very influenced by Bjork, but no, I've not seen Dancing. Is it Dancing in the Dark or Dancer in the Dark? And is it streaming? Because I don't want to. I don't know. And also, I don't know. I don't want a musical about the death penalty. This is stressing me out just thinking about it. You set the reminder, but you never hear them. Same. I literally have a reminder on my phone to study every day at 4 p.m. I haven't picked up my textbook in 2 weeks, so and now I have an Apple Watch, and it reminds me on my wrist, and I don't know, don't see it. Actively close it. I'm Asazai here, about to start a fight between Bjork and Grimes. It's about to get real. I was just making comparisons. It was not like an actual educated anything because I've only heard about 3 Grimes songs as well. So I can't really compare anybody because I'm not listening to their music. Ooh, hi, Selena. What? How did you get my... you subscribed. That's nice. Jean Grey, hi. I have the most holy soundtrack anybody has. Yes, it's the first YouTube live stream Q&A, hang out and do nothing, because I was gonna do it on my birthday, and then I was gonna do it yesterday, and then they were like, no, you have to do it for 24 hours before we let you in. I don't know. Medulla and biophilia. Okay, I'll write it down on my sticky notes app. Oh no, it's just regular notes. Where's my stickies? Medulla. What would it look? And biophilia. Okay, written down. I'm a bit slow to type and getting my words wrong. I asked YouTube to notify me when you go live, but I didn't hear that. Well, no, I understood what you meant. I was just saying notifications in general right over my head. It's your birthday week. It is, and I was sick for the entire first half of it. Have you always been JeGaysus? What a good question. I think I was born as JeGaysus. Somewhere inside, all these genes are ready to go. No, but for real, JeGaysus started Halloween 3 years ago. So what is that? 2019? Was it? There's no way it was 2019. Because it would have been... Wait, are we only on our second year? Okay, yeah. So this is our second year anniversary. JeGaysus was a costume at Halloween. The very first post I ever made was as, look at this, I look like Jesus. I have made this scarf at work. And in a way, yeah, it means it's JeGaysus' birthday tomorrow as well, when my physical birthday was on the 28th. So happy belated and early at the same time. It's only been 2 years. Oh my god, that makes me feel a little bit better. I thought it's been 3. I did have my I had my political account in March 2020. So that's why I was like, I couldn't have had this account in 2019 because I didn't even have my political account until March when the pandemic started and I got stuck here. Your channel is awesome. Please don't change. I see the antisocial comments under your videos. So just saying, you're doing great service to the world. I think that's pretty much how you know that it's working. If people are losing their mind over absolutely nothing or the smallest things, then it means that you're pushing a button somewhere and they feel insecure. And when people feel insecure, they have to sit in that discomfort. They have to sit with, um, I guess, the questions that they have around themselves and, like, figure out where that discomfort's coming from. Hopefully. That's what mature people do. I have a feeling that a lot of people on YouTube are just like kids, the ones who are leaving all the hate. You know what I mean? But I was just saying this to Miss Sir too, that it's a totally different environment on YouTube than it is TikTok. Because on TikTok, everyone wants to debate and get into like a linguistic conversations where we go back and forth for a couple hours. And on TikTok, they're just like, I mean, YouTube, they're just like, you can't have a rainbow scarf. Rainbows are for rain. To God's message. How do I deal with the mean haters? It depends. I've been ignoring most of my YouTube comments. I have my notifications turned off so I don't see them. But YouTube will still show the last notification no matter what. I don't know why. So if I see one that I just can't ignore, I'll hop on and answer. Or if I see like Mr. somebody I recognize, then I'll hop on and answer. But in general in life, I started very kindly, very Socratic, trying to figure out where they're coming from, asking them questions so I can understand their background, where they came from, what they wanted to know. And then I've turned into kind of just more of an a-hole as it's gone on because it's always the same questions, it's always the same answers, and it's always the same, like, I haven't researched anything is the people that I'm dealing with. So I kind of know where they're already at. And I jump past the Socratic method and I just, depending on how mean they are to me, I serve it back just as mean. It's probably not the best. It's probably not the best look if I want to be like a public figure, but here we are. One of those nail tools like the nail salons have. One of those nail tools. There's a lot of nail tools. Which one? What's your ethnic background? So I am on my white side, I'm British, Eastern European, which is also like part of my Jewish side, and German. And that's like 75% of my makeup. And then on my black side, I'm 15% Nigerian, 8% Upper Saharan African, and then like the last 3% Gambian or something like that. I can't remember that one off the top of my head. But anyways, like straight down the middle, 75% white, 25% black, like an actual cut. I thought it was gonna be like 20% black or something. No, like I'm an actual quarter black. I don't know how that happened. Someone somewhere was like pure down the line, which is crazy. Which means it would have to be both my no, it would have to be my grandma. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's weird. I'm not gonna say the word pure because I just got into a fight with somebody about that. Um, Kids you don't understand are kids who show their parents and the parents comment mean stuff. Do you think that happens? Is that am I arguing with parents on kids' profiles? Why have I never thought about that? That's so weird. Like, that's honestly creepy. I don't like it at all. And exactly, stop it. You're hurting God's feelings. I just went in on somebody who commented on my Hell is Real series, and they were like, Hell is very real, and you're going to have to answer for this one day. And I just hope that you see the love of Jesus and change your mind and your prescription of where you're going. They went on for like 4 paragraphs, and honestly, I didn't read all 4 paragraphs, but I went in on him today, and I was like, how awful it is that your God is so small. Like, honestly, I know more people, men and women, that are more forgiving than your version of God. I was like, why do you have somebody and why do you follow somebody that would punish somebody forever? And you even use the words eternal conscious torment, which lets me know that you've looked into this before. And even when presented with information that says differently, where it's saying God doesn't put people in torment for eternity, you go ahead and you choose the one that does. What does that say about you? That you want your God to be so merciful, lists and want to cause pain on others. Like, that's concerning, and it makes me sad for your life, you know? I went a little deeper than that too, but God can't be gay. That's the main comment, and then I don't even try anymore because it's never on topic. It's never on a video about sexuality. It's always like, here is a video talking about the Michelangelo sculpture of Moses having horns, and they're like, "But Jesus couldn't be gay." I'm like, focus on the video. Like, if you're not going to comment on Moses having horns, get out. They get rid of that. That's my jam. The really long ones I'm not posting, I'm copying and pasting just in case I ever want to make a book. Like, I could take them and make them into like blog type posts where I actually edit them down and refine them and then make them into a book of JeGaysus sayings or something. Your parents used to do that. Oh my gosh. That is so weird. Parents love to hide behind their shields. But like, I'm not a parent, but it's like they're regressing to their childhood, teenage self if they're doing that. Like, it's how they're getting their anger out, which is even more worrying. That as adults, mostly people are just like, live your life, do what you're gonna do. I don't care. And they continuously move on. But the fact that they're using their children's accounts to bully people online means they're trying to like get out their teenage angst. That's so weird. Some people really do limit God by ascribing him terrible qualities. And like, that's fine if that's how you want to do it, but I make them feel kind of like crap about it, because if they're going to follow that God willingly, uh it means some weird things about them. It's like some serial killer stuff. They love their cognitive dissonance. Yeah, they avoid it actually more than love it. I think a lot of people don't question. And I say that in the comments too all the time. Why are you doing this? Why have you made this account? You're ruining the religion. I always say, like, I don't care what anyone believes. What drives me absolutely crazy is people who don't research what they believe. I need to know, and this is why I challenge people and I raise questions of things maybe they've never heard. I want to know that you're going out there and saying, "What?" and it's taking a second to think it over, stop and have a critical thought. And hopefully research, read more, do something that's not just sit there on Sunday and listen to one pastor with one point of view tell you something. Because if you're going to have a belief, you should be able to back it up. That's my only care in the world. And the child gets the hate because it's the child's account. That's gross. You should have been their first clue, a god with the worst of the human traits. Yeah, right? Whenever your god starts to look extremely human, you need to ask some questions. Like, everyone's always like, God is unthinkable, uncomparable, unimaginable. Our brains can't comprehend him. And it's like, yeah, you think he's a murderous asshole? Like, that's a very human conception. Yeah, and you think he's a man? That's a very human conception. You're ruining the religion. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree, Kreia. Like, if I am the straw that breaks the can back on your religious beliefs, it would have been one thing or another. It's not me, baby. Because the biblical angels are only eyes with wings. We have, I don't know if Imas is still in here, but she's obsessed with biblical angels. I feel like anywhere she is, it comes up at least once in a conversation. And maybe that's a sign. Maybe that means you're supposed to be An angelologist. Is that a thing? Is that a job? They have demonologists, right? So why not angelologists? I don't know. Are you assuming my gender while they assume all of their religion's gods as male or female or straight? That's the other thing. Like, people get so mad about the gay Jesus thing because they're like, Jesus isn't gay. How dare you? He never says he's gay. And then if I say he never said he was straight, why is your default assumption that he's straight? That's odd. I'm like, I'm gay. I didn't even say Jesus was gay, but it's just weird that you think he's automatically straight. Why are you projecting? Because canonically, he should have been ace, right? They're basically urban legends now. The angels are urban legends? Now I'm lost. I got confused. I know that's like a little behind on the chat. Maybe I have it turned on to top chat too. Should probably do live chat. No, the sexualities for the gods and stuff. Yeah. I mean, especially if we want to get into like, the Greeks and the Egyptians and different religions that have quote unquote died out. But like they actually had sexualities that looked more like the planet, Zeus would have sex with anything. That's realistic, as compared to like purity culture and Jesus being ace. I guess that's realistic, but they don't talk about it. That's the thing. Zeus was very loud and proud and would talk about it. Hermes was very, very on the bi side, but like more on the Kinsey gay scale. Technically, men and women, no matter what, they could do things with whatever they want. Not saying the word because kids. Yeah. I don't think there's kids in here right now, but I feel like you mean horses, but I honestly thought there was gonna be more trolls. I'm actually a little disappointed that they're not. It's not like TikTok though. When you're going through the shorts thing, it's not going to show that I'm live. So like that's fair. That's fair enough. But I really wanted to go like head for some of those kids that you're talking about. Immature adults, maybe, but probably not kids. If I ever grow up, I don't know. I'm 32 and I still feel like I'm 16. Like I don't think there's ever a moment where you grow up. Maybe when you have kids, you start to feel like you're a grown up, but I don't even know if that's true. I think you just feel like you're a kid who has a kid. Maybe teens who want help with coming out. Well, if they are here, that would be lovely. I would love to help them with that. I have the worst advice ever, but I love to help. Um, just because my advice always starts with be safe, first and foremost. So many people feel like they are pressured to come out as soon as they can, like 12, 13, and the younger the better, except who you are so you can have your life as is. And yeah, to an extent. But if you live in a homophobic area where there's everyone knows everyone, maybe wait. If you definitely know you have a homophobic family who will kick you out into the snow, definitely wait. There's no reason to force it on to like the world. You know who you are and you can keep that to yourself until you find yourself with a job and money and a lifestyle that's not going to put you in harm's way. I don't have kids and I have yet to feel grown up. See, I asked my mom this question and she has kids, obviously adult kids, and she's 62. She's 62 and she's like, I don't feel like I'm grown up yet. She's like, whenever I grow up, this is what I want to do. So I think you just never do until you realize you're dying. Next year, we're going to have a huge party for your 33rd. It'll be your Jesus year. Ah! Oh my God, can we kill me? Like, spiritually, can I slay myself on the cross? Like, slay myself on the cross? Like, a pole dance on the cross? A pole dance on the cross. So, like, the top of the pole is just going to be, like, horizontal, but then we have, like, a lower pole, We're going to start talking to promoters in San Francisco right now. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence need to make that happen. I don't know why I'm not friends with them right now. I should be hosting actual events, and I am not. JeGaysus, when and how did you first hear about Gnosticism? Funnily enough, I knew about the Book of Judas because of the CNN documentary that was released around when the text was found, which, by the way, if you've ever seen that CNN original documentary, they terribly misrepresented all of it. Like, they got everything wrong, like translation wise and what the Gnostics were. They went too fast before scholars could actually read what they had in front of them, and like all the assumptions they made are wrong. So don't use that as a source. But that's the first time I heard about Gnosticism in general. So I was probably around 15 or so. And then when I made the account as JeGaysus, it made me more curious to research other, like, not just the Gnostic texts. I understood that there was forgotten texts or texts that were burnt or lost or left out because they were too old or too new. But I actually wanted to get into the mythology of it, and that's when I started learning about, Sockless and the demiurge and how that interplayed with different views throughout Christianity and how that went up against the Catholic Church. Heresy. JeGaysus died and was resurrected so that we could gain religious literacy. And I don't think I'm very literate. I think I'm kind of dumb, but I just have a way of taking in information and then dumbing it down for everybody. Hopefully, most of the time I'm semi-accurate, but probably not. Like, we have our friend Dan McClellan, right? And genius. Like, Dan is a genius, and if you ever ask him about literally any religious topic, he can give you an entire dissertation on it. But that might go over a lot of people's heads because it's very, very in tune. And I don't want to say it's like legalese, but sometimes Dan gets very heavy, and so I take that kind of information and I'm like, did you know that Israel had 800 people? I couldn't come up with the fact, so that's what I'm throwing out there. Game into that. Game in. You know what's weird too? I need to get into my my Teespring store, because they keep on dropping my merch and I don't know where it's going, but this has happened like 5 times. I no longer have my Amen shirt with me like coming down from the clouds. It just disappeared from the store. And I no longer have my Jesus is gay. It just disappeared from the store. And every time I say go take a look at it, they just go, oh, well, the listing just expired. And I'm like, how do I turn it to be permanent like the other ones? Like, oh, there's no button for that. It's just sometimes they expire. And I'm like, I hate Teespring. I hate them because it seems very purposeful. It's always those 2 designs. And my wraparound jacket, which is gorgeous. Anyway, I have to go re-upload everything manually and replace it and do all of the descriptions, which makes me mad. That's why I was saying that. And I haven't done it. That's all I thought from Gaiman. We're making Christianity into Gaystianity. Let us worship JeGaysus. Most people just call it queer theology, but Gaystianity, I like it. I like it. Congratulations. This is a new one. I'm a proud Grace. I've been waiting. I don't know why my TikTok following hasn't turned into a cult, 250,000 people. I thought at some point someone would try to turn it into a cult, and they haven't. But it might be YouTube. YouTube is the place where cults start. Look at Teal Swan. My friend asked me, how can you be gay and ace? And a lot of people get this confused, Same. I don't say ask that a lot, but they're always like, I thought you were gay whenever I say I'm ace. And they're like, but I thought you were gay. I can still have preferences and aesthetic choices, and I'm gray sexual. I'm not really asexual, but we can have feelings towards people, and it doesn't have to be actually taking action with the sex. My worst fear is to see a clip of me talking followed by Dan saying, okay, let's. I got danned once. And I think that's because I don't remember what the topic was. It was light enough that he just said, okay, yeah, here's a great version of the rhetoric that a lot of people do, but they're confusing the first passage with the second passage, and it's a common mistake. It was something simple like that, and I was like, thank God, okay, it's over. And he's seen all my other videos, and he, I think, purposefully does not come after me because he very much has a different vision of what Gehenna means scholarly. He has a different opinion on what a lot of what I say is, and he talks about it all the time when going after other creators. So I think he purposefully doesn't come after me, and I really I appreciate that, Dan. If you ever watch this, I'm bisexual and demisexual. Yeah, you are. No attraction technically, but like not all the time too. Finn, hi. I mean, sometimes you can have attraction. Like, who knows? Everything's fluid. It's just like, meh, go with it. Bo Burnham. Pan romantic and asexual. Wow. See, I almost want to say I'm pan romantic as well, but like, I'm almost starting to feel aromantic, but like I'm not. Like I crave like having a partner, and I really liked when I had a partner, and I like cuddling and such. But like I'm definitely polyamorous, and I know that we had a good conversation about that over on Tang once on our gay programs. Somebody was saying, "Can you know you're polyamorous without being in a polyamorous relationship, or like?" Is that just wanting another person or like is it its own sexuality? And I was like, I think it absolutely is, because I haven't dated anyone since I was 23, and that person was my first long-term boyfriend. And very first day that we started dating, I was like, I want to open this up and have a throuple. I want you to know that I'm open to having a 3-person relationship, and that's what I'm looking for right now. And he said yes at first, and then he said no in like a month, and it was fine. And we were together for 3 years. But even in my single periods after that, I still crave at least 3 people, if not having a polycule where people are involved in different ways. Hi, Bible and Box. Yo. Are you sure you aren't Dimmy? What's Dimmy? I must. Dimmy is where you have to get to know somebody before you can start developing physical attractions towards them. Like, it's not like you're walking down the street being like, dang, I want to get in bed with this person. It's like after you hang out with them and get to be friends, you start to see them in different lights and start to see them as being a little bit more sexual. Okay. I got a friend who's pan romantic but homosexual. Really cool how many different identities there are. Yeah. See, I would be a homosexual, gray sexual, pan romantic. And I just commented this yesterday because we were talking about different kinds of relationships. And I said, I think I almost guarantee it, because they're talking about how straight men need to start getting in relationships with other straight men. Because until they can learn to respect women and stop seeing them as like a physical thing they should go after, and because they usually don't relate on anything. They're like, straight men, you should just honestly start getting to relationships with other straight men. You don't have to have sex or anything, but you get that companionship and you have all those things in common, and you'd probably be much more fulfilled. And like, it was a straight guy saying this. And I was like, to be honest, if I were to be in another relationship right now, there's like no guys in my area who are attracted to me. But I think if I were going to have another relationship, it would probably be with a lesbian woman. And she wouldn't have to be, asexual or not, because I wouldn't care what she's doing because we're not having sex. I still get that companionship. And I understand women way more than I understand guys. So my next boyfriend just might be a girlfriend who's a lesbian. Yikes, this is educational. I know nothing. Oh, Gene, it is a crazy big world. Argo, what's up? You're Demi boy, homosexual, polygamous? Is that different than polyamorous? I kissed a lot of boys. I'm proud of you. Yeah, asexual people kiss sometimes. Okay, let me put it this way to you, Iamos. I consider myself asexual, and my body count, as the kids would say, is probably somewhere in the 350 arena. If we're doing all of the things, like we're doing, mouth stuff, hand stuff, all of that jazz, we're in the 350s at least. I'm also a demi boy too. I misspelled, okay. Yes, Crea, 350. I lived in LA for 10 years, and let's just say I may have broken up with my boyfriend when I was 23, but there was a lot of time in between that. And also, we had an open relationship. And also, there's a time before I was even with my boyfriend. I think if I wasn't married, I'd be yes. Sinner Sanctuary, hi. Oh, I like how it's like starting to kick off now. I've heard there's different polycules that are really mean, and I've heard that from like different people I follow on TikTok where they said they had to leave the polyamorous community entirely just because of like the actual rudeness that they were seeing within the community, like the way they interact with everyone else is not healthy, and that's so weird that as any kind of community it can become toxic. That's weird because everyone's so different. You know what I mean? Be like, I've decided to leave the gay community because they are toxic. Not all of them. Yeah, see, you've been with your husband since 18, so like that's fair that you'd only be with one person. You know what I mean? You have to find the right person. But who is that right person? Where are they? This is deaf educational. It may be more than just a lesbian now that I'm hearing all these definitions, but just in case, I need everyone to repeat all the definitions again. Thanks. Well, there's a lot. So we can only really go over the ones that are thrown up on the board. There's Demi Boy, which means like I identify as a boy, but like on the outside, I'm like a boy, but on the inside, I'm like very feminine. It's like that's where I'm at in non-binary land. I don't consider myself non-binary trans. I consider myself non-binary cis because my body is that of a boy and I enjoy being a boy on the outside, but inside very feminine. So I'm kind of like demi. I'm a half boy, semi boy. Demisexual in the same way means that you are sexual, but it has to come with getting to know somebody and getting to learn about them, and as you are around them more, your attraction grows. You can't just one night stand it. What else did we go over? Polyamorous, meaning being able to fall in love with multiple partners. Polycule is a system in which you have not everyone dating each other, but you have connections to each of the partners. um what else do we go over? Asexual, meaning that you don't have sexual attractions necessarily to strangers or other people, and you can sometimes have attractions to other people, but you don't look for doing the act. Gray sexual means that in the right circumstances with the right person, it doesn't bother you to have sex. You're not sex adverse. um yeah. I that's all I can remember what we talked about, but Ah. Korean Trine song. You're deaf trans and I've deaf got too many pronouns. Demi is a harder one too, because it could also be sapiosexual, where you are more attracted to like intelligence and what's in somebody's mind, which sometimes can feel like demisexual, because until you get to know someone, how do you know what's in their mind? But I can't do this song anymore. People who prefer I use neopronouns instead of the default pronouns scare me. I have so much trauma from people like that. How do you mean? I would need more background on that. What's the reverse of that? I'm female non-binary. The reverse of a demi boy would be a demi girl. But I mean, you have to read the actual explanation. I did not do it justice and see if it like triggers something in you. And yeah, see, Mr. Demi and Ace and the Sapio thing too. Like they all gender and sexualities. And if you get all these different labels, you can start stacking them up to be like, oh, I have a complicated thing. And it's hard because like a lot of people don't know what all the things mean. So it doesn't really help you express yourself in the world. But it also really teaches you about yourself. And it's cool to have just like a knowledge about where you're coming at. Where thinking back in the 90s, it was all like, me named Chad. I like girls. What's your type? Girls is my type. Cool. Now we can have like actual, like instead of saying he, him, or she, her, they prefer I use cloud. I was also really young when they told me about this, so it scared me. I got kicked out of a friend group because I didn't understand it. Neopronouns, I wouldn't say scare me. I have trouble to understand them. So like I can't conceptualize neopronouns. I will use them if I'm asked to. Like I had a friend on TikTok who would come to my live when I used to do one every day. Excuse me. And they recognize themselves as a potato. So that their pronouns were potato. But like that's what I get confused about. Like those are just nouns. Those aren't pronouns. That's just a thing. So if you recognize yourself as a cat, that's fine. If you think of yourself as a cat, but even when I have a cat or a dog, I refer to the cat or the dog as he or she or they until I know. You know what I mean? Like identifying as one thing is not the same thing as using it as a pronoun. So I think that's where my confusion comes from. What's the difference between Saphio and Sapphic? Sapphic is the opposite of phallic. So Sapphic is relating to female form, to the best of my knowledge. And then Sapio's knowledge. Just want you to know that I'm baking bread right now. Thanks for the update. I want to be a bread breaker. Bread breaker, like Jesus. I just said that. Freudian slip. I meant bread baker. I get them mixed up sometimes, even though they mean different things, but I'm blanking on what sapphic means. Sapphic, it's very much girl love, but that's why I'm confused by it too. Let's get the definition. Sapphic meaning relating to lesbians or lesbianism. And it started because of Sappho, relating to Sappho, her poetry, or a verse in a meter associated with her. It's an umbrella term between women, whether they are lesbian, bi, pan, asexual, trans, or queer. Deriving from the Greek goddess Sappho. So yeah, there you go. I thought it was just the opposite of phallic. I was wrong. Oh, I looked up sapio and they say it means intelligence. Sapphic is strictly lesbian. I thought I had a complicated thing too, was because I was just going through the motions and sort of forcing myself through the lesbian mold. That's the other thing. I didn't realize I was ace until literally this year. You're like putting yourself through the mold of what you're supposed to do. Totally relate. Like for the past 10 years, go to the clubs, try to hook up the guys on Grinder, like try to feel like I get, and I just don't get. It's not a thing I understand. I have my own neopronouns, but sometimes I forget my own. That's funny. My pronouns are they, he, ghost, ghost self. Is something I associate heavily with my gender. I remember when first felt the attachment. It's so strong for me and hard to explain. It's just me, and that's how I've talked to a lot of people with neopronouns, and like that's how they always describe it, right? Like it's so strong in terms of like how it's the only word that they have that can really explain how they feel gender wise, and so it's the same with xenopronouns. That like because there is no way to describe their gender, they prefer to have a gender that's uh, why can't I say the word? Not pronounceable. Irpronounceable is not a word. That's not pronounceable. So they'd have a xeno pronoun such as PTP, but it clicking for you makes sense. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because I feel like I must be a boomer. Oh my god, live researching. It's great because I get excited when I see anything related to ghosts and I go, that's my gender. Interesting. Neopronouns would be considered your ghost and ghost self. Yes. Thank you. You're welcome. Can we have some lives where it's just like a research party? Yes. I want to schedule like topic lives where we go in and like only gonna talk about the Gospel of Thomas and let's all just get on Google and like talk about stuff. And then once I set up a StreamYard, I can have multiple people on. We can do that. I'm hypersexual, but technically it's a disorder than a sexuality. Sounds about right. It's weird that it's a disorder though, because it's mainly I would call it a hormonal thing, right? Or like a hormonal imbalance. If you're hypersexual, I don't think it's necessarily broken. Everyone has different levels of libido. So who's to say what is the right amount of libido? Are they taking a range of 0 to 10 and just averaging it and saying 5 is normal? Because I don't think that's a good way to do human anything. I love this song and I don't know what it's called because my phone's not catching up. Go Self has, like, as a community, they have a flag. I mean, biology and hormones have everything to do with sexuality. It's amazing. That's the other thing too. I want to get tested for testosterone because I wonder if maybe I'm tired all the time because my testosterone isn't processing or something. And maybe that's where I just like, maybe I'm asexual because I have no testosterone. But like, obviously, I have testosterone. I just can't put on muscle and I'm always tired and etc. But that's autoimmune. They describe it as a disorder because it's so high to the point we could harm ourselves. Ooh. Then we'll have one where we only write the book of JeGaysus. We did do a live where Jimmy, who's not here, played the voice of Ben Shapiro because some of you may know, some of you may know not. I have a thing for Ben Shapiro. Like, I think he's gorgeous, and in that way, when you hate somebody, you want them. So we did a live reading of a put together romance novel between JeGaysus and Ben Shapiro, where we made it up as we went. And I think that needs to be published still. But then we should also do a book of JeGaysus. Literally, it would be like, I said this in the group the other day. What did I say? Oh, I want to write a book called Don't Be Gay based on the one that I have that my mom gave me or whatever. But on the cover, it's going to say Don't Be Gay. And when you open it, the first page is going to be Don't Be Gay. And then there's 300 blank pages, and the last pages, or do whatever you want, like be yourself, I don't care. Signed, JeGaysus. And then I want to go to like Christian bookstores and see if I can pitch my book and see if how they probably buy it based on the cover and the first page alone. Like, I want to see if I can get away with that. Gay males have a high tendency of being low on T, like as in a zygote, to be destined from cell size to be fabulous. Yeah, as a zygote, it makes sense, but what about now? Live collaboration for the Book of JeGaysus. I love. Oh, it was very erotic. You're confused? It's because I hate him so much, but like he's cute. And he always is over here like flexing, like he's adorable, just a cute little neurotic Jew. Like you can't rip the Jewish out of me because I find that adorable. He's using his powers for evil, but he's so cute. And then so I just want to like lock him in a room and teach him to be good. I turn off the Fox and I don't know, just undo his programming. I've been bedridden for 2 years. That happens to be how long I've been questioning if I'm still attracted to gals. I may just be super low energy. See, that's the thing too. I'm going through testing right now for autoimmune diseases, and I just might be tired, to be honest. Thank you, Gene. He is gorgeous. I approve. Improv scripture. Yeah. He looks like an accountant who was pissed off he couldn't play basketball and just complained on the sidelines. And I hate sports. I know. It's the most Jewish thing ever that just came out of your mouth, Korea. Accountant who was pissed he couldn't play basketball because they do love basketball and then complains on the sidelines. But you hate sports as much of the Jewish community does. Every other sport for some reason. Basketball sneaks through. That's the most Jewish thing you could have done. It's like how you wanted to do Megyn Kelly all those years ago. Yes, exactly. It's a hate. It's not a because I love him. Like it's purely out of dominance. I just want to show him who's the boss. Yo, man, are you ever gonna do long videos? Hi, Grant. Yes. So whenever I have time, we were just talking about how I'm going through my autoimmune testing. So like I don't have time on anything. But my first video that's going to be just for YouTube, just long. It's probably going to be about 10 to 15 minutes scripted. And I want to do a deeper dive into the Gospel of Thomas. Just because I don't have any other subjects that stick out because it feels like I'll be reusing my content. Also, I'm going to be posting a lot of compilations. So like my series, instead of having them spread out as like 7 pieces, pop them all at once. King James just came out 15 minutes ago. If you have ideas of what you want to see as a 10 or 12 minute video of me talking, please let me know. I'll write those down. Yes, JeGaysus are being JeGaysus for Halloween. I am. Actually, I'm going to be a gayer JeGaysus. I'm gonna be a gayer JeGaysus tomorrow, and that's like I need to do my hair, I need to do my makeup. It's gonna be a thing, and then I don't go anywhere. I'm just gonna record videos. It's not like I'm going out. We should start using autotune and bleep out all the bad words. I mean, I think at an hour in, it doesn't even matter. YouTube's not going to be taking me down out of the algorithm for that. We're not even in the algorithm, so I could probably cuss. I don't know what they'd be like if they were normal. Have you asked them to get in what is it? HGH hormone injections? Because that might be interesting. Could you do more in depth on Paul? I could talk about Paul forever. So here, I have my notebook right now. What specifically about Paul? Because I need a direction. Otherwise, I'll just start ranting. You can ask Correa. She produced our Paul debates, and I had an entire hour to myself just to talk bad on him. You will be boned and owned for yourself. You will be whipped for your pleasure to cancel out your bad ideas. If only I had friends to go out with. I feel for it. I don't know, just do your thing. As much as I disagree, I enjoy the dialogues you start. I know, and see, that's what Grant's pretty dope, everyone. Grant is the kind of people I was looking for in coming to YouTube. Obviously, I love like Miss Sir and Grand Shrine, but like what I was trying to get was people who disagree with me but can still hold a conversation. And so far, the only person who's done that has been Grant. Like that's somebody tried earlier today, and they just were calling me sockless, and then said I'm wrong for not knowing enough about Gnostic stuff. And I'm like, I know what you meant when you called me sockless. You're calling me a blind fool, but I don't understand what that has to do with this video in specific. Where am I blind in this video? I don't know anything. Well, think on it. If you think on like a specific thing, like, okay, so we'll do a long form Paul. I'll just put that down. Because I can do that tomorrow. Like, I don't even have to research it. But I want to do like a researchy thing. Yes, hashtag cancel Paul merch is up in my store. That is still up for some reason. Even though that I took down my other stuff. I feel like spiritual, emotional, mental health stuff directly affects hormone levels. Ooh, more so than vice versa. The feedback loop is real, like whatever we're processing on our past shows up in our bodies. And I have massive intestinal issues, and for whatever reason, gay trauma and abuse always, they say, like manifests as intestinal issues. And I was like, how they know? The Karens, they took it down. Wait, what happened? What did I miss? Who got took down? Would you ever do a chat with others, not professionals, because obviously they'll go on the offense, but like crazies in the comments? Yeah, like once I understand how to work StreamYard, I'm more than welcome to have guests on. I don't consider myself like a debater, but I would go back and forth with people anytime. You can make merch without a platform. You don't need people. You could make the designs. That's the hard part. Hey, JeGaysus, I forget to thank you for the comment on your video. 1 second. I forget to thank you for the comment on your coming out video, but again, it helped me a lot. You're welcome. That's very sweet. I'm glad I was able to help. That's like the other thing too, is I deal with a lot of haters and I deal with a lot of crap, but at the end of the day, when I'm able to help 1 or 2 people and I get reminded about it, I'm like, no, I'm on the right side of this, because if I can help anybody get over some religious trauma, some guilt, some shame that they put on themselves, then I'm in the right space. The past is trauma ridden and will affect your hormones, because stress hormones, cortisol destroys your body, and my cortisol is always up because of my anxiety issues. I have intestinal issues too. See, I'm telling you. Maybe set up a Discord and make a place for conversations to occur. I don't know how to set up my own. I'm in couple, so I'm using it daily now. Finally, I understand it a little more than I did a year ago. But I was going to use that as the first tier of my Patreon. I'm gonna have a Discord for like a, I don't know, $2 a month tier. You just get access to the Discord, and then on like a $10 a month tier, I'm gonna have an exclusive podcast where I read a Gnostic novel and then do a breakdown of it in a separate one. So it's like 2 different podcasts. And and then there would be a third tier, like $15 or $20 for monthly meetings via Zoom, where we can all discuss. I'm not good with designs. Love the beard, hate the beard of theology. I like it. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, design's the hard part. Like, if you can start finding somebody to help you with it now, I would. Guilt and shame are bastards. Absolutely. I have similar health issues. I know it sucks. Please supplement and take quality probiotics if you don't already. Source, I'm a pharmacy tech. Right now, what I'm doing is I take enzymes from Chernot, some multi-level marketing thing, but they work really well. So anytime I eat, I take live active enzymes that break down the food in my stomach since I apparently can't. And then it's able to digest better. And then like probiotics. We should survey LGBTQ plus people on stress levels and how they feel public perception plays into that. I don't know about that, but I would like to run the survey for you. Since you've been doing all these surveys, I'll do it one-on-one, and then maybe I can meet my lesbian boyfriend. I don't know. I need to make a video about that so we can get a better name going. Enzymes have helped my friends with gut issues. It makes sense. It like if you obviously are having gut issues and a lot of the problem feels like you're unable to digest your food, you're probably not producing the right enzymes. So if you can produce enzymes elsewhere or have them given to you, then you don't have to do all that work trying to break it down. Would you ever get into politics? Just your take on things and all that? Yeah, sometimes I don't let the JeGaysus filter stay on and I go straight into politics. It depends on what we're talking about. But I have an entire political TikTok page. Which are we friends on that one? I feel like because the only other Grant I know who talks like you is friends with me on my curly gay politics page. I feel like it's a similar logo. I project the manifestation, your future lesbian boyfriend. Lesbian boyfriend is how I describe myself in every relationship. You're not big into TikTok. It's so weird. I feel like you have the same vernacular, the same picture, the same name, obviously. I want to stick around longer, but I'm East Coast time and dying. Gotta sleep, more lives. Yes, we will have more conversations in the future. As our little group grows, it'll be more fun. So go get some sleep. It's like, yes, it's late your time. I understand. Ooh, grandma's out here spelling. Cute. And grandma, is that the troll name you're gonna go with? Gut culture also has to do with behavior. Grandma is a jerk. Grandma's sad. I don't know if they're still here, but they're sad. They're a sad person. That's what that means. I don't even think it's going to be a jerk. I think I don't know what it is. Cuz like they're not harming me by doing that. You know what I mean? It just shows that they want to go out of their way to have other people hate them as much as they hate themselves. That's what it is. They want to publicly be perceived as hateable because they hate themselves. So they try to do that in a way like this, where everyone will be like, ew, what a dick. I wish you didn't boot them actually, because I wanted them to hear that because that was a really good diagnosis, I think. Some people who lack certain enzymes for digestion take pancrease. I hope I spelled that right. Like it works for those with cystic fibrosis. Oh, maybe I should be using that. Pancrease, because I had pancreatitis. Like I have chronic pancreatitis, and that's where I think a lot of my issues are stemming from. Even though I'm not in a pancreas flare up, I know the difference. The specific enzymes I'm missing are probably not able to come from my pancreas. So I should look that up. Write that down. Could you do this on like a consistent timeline, like every Sunday night or something? Okay, Grant coming up here with demands. I was gonna do it on my birthday, and I was gonna do it. I used to do a live on TikTok every Sunday. No, I didn't say, "Hey Siri, go away, stop." You just open TikTok. Full volume. Every Sunday I try to do a church, and like a not a church, but like a instead of going here, all the deconstructors can come on Sunday and hang out with JeGaysus because that's when I was doing my makeup, and I'd be filming, so then everyone hang out while I did my makeup. But yes, we can try to make it a thing. We could try to make it I'd say Mondays. Mondays at like 5 would be the best. That way it's a little bit earlier for people on the East Coast, and hopefully people on the West Coast, if they get off at 5, can jump in. And so Mondays at 5 would be a good time to do that. See how long it'll last though. Because again, autoimmune disorder something, and some days I just can't get off the couch. Yes, I am PST. California love. Disciples need to be discipled too. There's room for making mistakes. How many times did Jesus yell at his disciples, being like, bruh, you're even gonna doubt that I can walk across this water right now, bruh? You gonna do me like that? I can't even read what I wrote. Pink release. Lace. I'll check into it. Mondays at 5. But not tomorrow. Starting next week. It's difficult to get. You may need to get a prescription from your doctor. Depending on the pharmacy, they have to special order it because it's rarely dispensed. I was writing it down like I could go get it on Amazon. But here's the thing. I will definitely tell my doctor about it while we're looking into getting a rheumatologist, because that's going to take forever. See what he says. How did you learn all your knowledge on the Bible and Jesus? Just a heavy interest on it. So, I mean, I was raised as a Baptist who then became non-denominational, which is just Baptist by another name. So I don't want to say groomed, but I was groomed to learn a lot about the Bible. And in that time, I was on fire. I loved every minute of it. I wanted to be a missionary. That was my entire goal in life. So I spent a lot of time researching that way. I tried to convert my best friend. So I was reading apologetics at like the age of 11 and 12, trying to convert her from Mormonism to the right church. And it was through that process of trying to convert her from Mormonism, she had me read the Book of Mormon. Like, that was our thing. I was like, you're going to read this devotional text, because they do read the Bible too. I'm like, you're going to read this devotional text. She's like, well, if I do that, you have to read the Book of Mormon. And I did. And it was in reading the Book of Mormon that my deconstruction of Christianity started. Especially because at the same time I was at camp, and this pastor said one thing that made everything else fall into line and click. And I was like, what are we doing here? Like, if we're using this as an example, God is evil, you know? Oh, yeah. And then once I started having an account, then questions came up and people would be like, hey, can you talk about this? And then I'd have to go look it up and I'd learn something new. And I, like, most of my channel is not knowledge I already had, it's knowledge I go out and learn. Smash the like button. Yes. Thank you. I put it in the description, but I forget to say it. And looking like whatever Jesus people want to see helps. Fun fact, in the first 200 years since their inception, Mormonism technically has more converts as a percentage of the world population within its first 200 years than early Christianity did. Oh, I bet. In its first 200 years? Absolutely. Because it was, what, 1800s to now? That's a crazy growth spurt. Where the first 200 years of Christianity was like Paul and Irenaeus talking to each other. Like, the early church fathers are far and in between and didn't have any kind of like semblance of what they were believing. To be honest, from watching your shorts and speaking with Mormon missionaries helped lead me to Christ, as it forced me to read scriptures myself. But I also discovered how fake so many churches are. See, and that's the other thing. I have a really interesting reaction with people. Sometimes people come back to me, they're like, I rejoined the faith because of you, or I was about to leave, and then your viewpoint on things made me come back to the church. And then I have other people who I've helped fully destruct, just kill it, destruct the church, deconstruct. I've helped people deconstruct, and then others that I have turned from a questioning Christian straight over to atheist with my videos. One video has different reactions on everybody, and that's why I always say I don't talk about my personal beliefs on the channel, because I don't want that to be the goal. I want people to research and look things up on their own, and I want them to project whatever they want to on me, and I like being that blank slate so they can just view me however they view me. What are some good resources on like queer Christianity and deconstructivism of evangelicals? I can't read tonight. I'm getting tired. I don't have resources on deconstruction per se because I'm terrified that now that it's a movement as of the past year, I've already seen people try to capitalize on it. And it's the same damn preachers who are like hip youth gospel pastors. And now they're starting to write books on deconstruction. And that's not what it is. Deconstruction is a very personal journey. So it's not like there's a way to give resource to it. Queer Christianity, I can't remember what the book is called. There's only one I've actually read, but there's two that I've heard that are really good. I don't know. They're on my Amazon wish list, but I would have to go digging. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better answer, Kimmy. You've been super interested in the Bible again because of me. See, it's crazy. And like it's fun. I think the Bible is freaking fun because it's nuts. Like I don't care who you are, like Christian, non-Christian, it's insanity. And people are always like, the context. You don't understand the context. And I'm like, it gets crazier as soon as you get deeper into the context. Once you start looking into the original language and the root words and the people that surrounded them and what timeline this was written in and who was being written to, it gets crazier. Like, there's no way for the context to just be, oh, I get it now. That makes it okay. No, it's just this book with the weirdest things going on. I begun learning Hebrew and I despise the vowel system. I will not even try. Honestly, like if I were gonna learn anything, I would learn Yiddish, and not that it will help me with studies, but I'm bad at linguistics as it is. Like I cannot even do proper English grammar. Not having vowels in general would not be good for me. But you can see how it makes alliteration and translation in general pretty hard, and why people debate over every little thing on the Old Testament, because Hebrew is a weird language, and one little twist or putting something beforehand or afterhand changes the entire sentence. Some people deconstruct from the toxic parts of Christianity, but they keep their faith. People don't choose beliefs. Some people have a deep-rooted need to believe in God. I don't fault them for that as long as they aren't harming anyone else. Exactly. Yeah, like April comes to mind, Kreia. Like she's became, as she would say, a much better Christian through deconstruction. And I would agree with that, 'cause she went from being like a trumpet on TV, spreading and raising money for like bad charities, to being a champion for her partner and letting her kids be who they are. And she's a better Christian. I would say so. The commercial deconstruction industry be popping off. That's what I'm afraid of. I haven't even looked into it. If you treat Hebrew like math, so memorizing formulas, it's not bad. You would say that, Bible Unboxed, but you're a genius. How many languages do you speak and or read and or can translate? Those are kind of different questions. Completely understand. Deconstruction is personal, hard to quantify without those preaches taking advantage of a movement. Exactly. Guess the next question is, what version of the Bible do you recommend? Because I'm mostly familiar with NIV and SLI. So I recommend what the scholars recommend, which would be the RSV. They haven't really leaned into the new RSV, which was just released this year. So I can't say that that's better. They tried to make some bridges to make modern accommodations, I guess, and that pisses some scholars off. They went for more. There's like 4 different ways to translate the Bible, right? So they went for a more alliterative, more metaphorical translation in the NRSV, and as compared to the regular RSV, which is like a word for word translation. So if you want to be as accurate as possible, I'd go to the RSV, even though they are the ones who messed up in 1946 by adding, the word gay to the Bible or homosexual to the Bible. They've since fixed that. So they good. Yes, I agree with all those names, Crap. Where is Joe? I haven't seen Joe anywhere, but I'm also not on Twitter, but I haven't seen her on TikTok. I haven't seen her on Instagram. I've had a lot of downtime, so I read a couple hundred books. Ooh. I'm interested in books with some reference to the Bible and how it's supposed to be interpreted and translated. I Do you read Bart Ehrman, or have you ever read anything by Dr. Bart Ehrman? Because he would kind of talk about how to interpret, how to translate. Probably not as deep as it would help you as like an actual course, but what books do I have? That's what I would recommend just for easy reading. But in terms of like actual like how to get up in there, An Atheist Guide to the Old Testament, volume 1 and 2. Definitely check that out by Dr. Josh Bowen, because then he includes all the Near East and he doesn't just focus on like Israelites. She moved across the country. Ooh, got you. Another idea on long videos is how crazy Judges gets and how it escalates. Let me write it down. Ooh, I could always start with Job too. Job is just like a freaking drama pre-written for me. It's like an episode of a show. I need to get back into Twitter, then that's what that means. Never meant. What did you say? Oh, Judges gets. I shouldn't even have music in the background. This is gonna get me demonetized one day. Job is great. It's interesting. I'll say that. I don't know if it's great, but yeah, it allows for a lot of interesting interactions. Like that's when you get to really learn that Satan or Hasatan is not the devil, but really just the entertainment value wise, exactly. But it's really just like the right hand man of God, and whoever wants to be used. In that instance, it was an angel, but Hasatan is used in other ways. So people co-opting that to be the devil is weird. But the fact that God challenged himself to make his followers' life miserable says a lot again about this God. That's very much in the eternal conscious torment line of God thinking. Uh, it scares me. Which is why I really liked Gnosticism when I first found it. I really liked the whole like demiurge versus true God thing, and the Cathars, how they broke that out, being like, this is the nice God, this is the bad God. And I approved of that. But then, once you start thinking about it and you get deep into it, it becomes extremely anti Semitic. Even though they were Jewish people who were writing this at the time, it becomes anti Semitic now because you're essentially saying everything in the Hebrew Bible is an evil god, and that's something they're still worshiping. while everything in the New Testament is like whitewashed and beautiful. Um, that's a heavy trap to follow into, so don't do that. But if you could do it, I'd say the cleanest way to do that would be throw out everything in the Bible except for what Jesus has to say. Perhaps the devil has some sort of Trinity aspect as well. I in my opinion, the devil doesn't exist yet. Again, in the New Testament too, it's not like just the devil, like it's an entity. It's multiple devils. Judas is a devil. The demons that he's expelling are devils. There's no one devil. And until the end of time, until the tribulation and the unsealing and the trumpets happens, that's when we see the devil kicked from heaven, taking a third of the angels with him, and the war basically begins between good and bad for the earth. So I don't think the devil's been chosen yet. I think that devil is still in heaven chilling. Hello, humans, Titan. What's up? He technically doesn't wander Earth, nor any demons be cast out until Revelation. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's still up there until Revelation. Just chillax. And I read Jesus and John Wayne recently too because your IG post on it. That was hard to take in. I don't. I wouldn't say hard to take in for me personally when I read it. It's just like everything clicked. You know what I mean? You can see a long puppet master thing. And I don't even think they were thinking that long in the long game. Like, there's no way these men in the 40s were like, in 2022, we're going to get abortion appealed using this. Like, it's just weird how well the plan works when the right systems are built in place. When the systems are on your side and you put it together, you can do anything you want. Ave Santanas. So I wonder where the demons who infect people are from. For the future. The traveling demons, of course. Makes sense. I don't think demons infect people. I don't think that happens. I think people have their own mental breaks. Whoa, whoa. See, I don't believe there's ever a devil possession. I read or I listened to an interesting podcast about this possession that went really poorly in Germany in the 1900s. And it was this girl who was super devoted at some Catholic church. She was going to be a nun. She would read 14, 15, 16 hours a day on scriptures and be praying. And um, because of her devotion and because of like how much she was sealing herself off from the world, she began to become schizophrenic. That unlocked something she already had going on. And so what she was told to do by the church was to limit her food intake, to fast. Um, that way her brain wouldn't be as active or something. And like that was bad news. So it made her go into more of a spell that she thought she was possessed. And then once she was in that mindset, there was no stopping it. And they had every great exorcist of the time come to try to unpossess her, but she locked herself up in the basement so she wouldn't hurt anybody. It was this really weird and sad story where she eventually starved herself to death. Um, and or was beaten to death, one of the two. And then they later did an autopsy and they're just like, oh, she was bipolar. Medicine could have fixed her. It makes as much sense as the rest of it. I would like to see a show about like maybe an animated comedy about time traveling demons. But you know what? I'd want it to be Good Omen style. I would want it to be half angels, half demons, time traveling together, like constantly being like, I'm gonna beat you at the world's first baseball game or whatever. And then either masquerading as humans or possessing humans. Because maybe angels are out here possessing people too. If demons are just angels, why not? I don't know why I'm bopping to this verse. This verse is gross. That's nuts. I've had the best time in the Devil's Playground. What's that mean? What's the Devil's Playground? It sounds sexual. It always reminds me of like the Devil's Lettuce. Oh, dang. Okay. We are an hour and 35 minutes into the stream, which is longer than I thought I was going to make it. I need to eat. I need to do something. I don't know. I am tired. I've been sleeping for like 10 hours a day, and I still am tired. Probably because I've been sleeping for 10 hours a day. Love you. Go eat. Oh, yeah. And I need to eat. I do. I have Popeyes in the fridge that I need to put in the oven. Because have you ever tried to microwave Popeyes chicken? It becomes rubber. Like, you can't, it's jerky almost. You cannot rip through it. So you have to put it in the oven. So it's going to take a while. That's what they call the thoughts that happen with idle time. Oh, the Devil's Playground. Got it. Because you drive yourself nuts. Got it. I have an issue with the priests who think they can heal people, because even going by their rules, the priest and the one they're healing have to have absolute faith, which is unlikely. But are you sure that's part of it, that they have to have absolute faith? I don't know if that's necessarily laid out, because it would be one of the spiritual gifts, right? It's just I don't ever see it working. Like, I think when the spiritual gifts are laid out, when they say the gift to heal, I think they mean like nurses. I think they mean like doctors, people who have an innate drive to learn how to help people, and the people who can really, on a spiritual level, talk to you and heal past trauma and heal what you're thinking currently and make everything a little bit clearer so it makes sense. I think that's what they mean by healing. I don't think like putting your hands on somebody and making your hair grow back. Oh, going off the disciples gonna heal. You see, that gets a little bit wonky too. Maybe we should look into that. I'll write that down. I have vague understanding right there too, so I'm gonna have to research it. So, disciples healing regarding faith being pure. We'll look into it. Okay, I'm getting off. I love all of you. I'm getting off. If you want to, and you haven't seen the King James videos yet, they're all in one video now, uploaded to my page. I think most of you in here have seen my coming out video, but if you haven't, still do that. And yeah, we'll start hanging out. How about Monday at 5 next week? I'll release the time sooner. That way you can sign up and get a reminder. Yeah. Love you too, boo boo. Yes. See y'all. Love y'all. Good night. Stay safe. Bye.